One of those issues, it's not going to go away. It is the casualisation of the workforce and labour hire in particular. Gavin Geiger has been in the mining industry for over 20 years. He's been working under short-term labour hire contracts over the past few years, and he's out of work at the moment. But he set up a private social media group of miners that now has over 7,500 members, and he's calling for a federal inquiry into labour hire companies. Mr Geiger has met with a member for Capricornia, Michelle Landry. He's calling for this federal inquiry and he's asked her to look into it. He spoke with the ABC's Inga Stunzner.
We've been talking with Michelle Landry. I went and had a meeting with her last Monday, and there's a few things that we need to chase up. One is she's concerned about is the health of the people, how it's affecting the people. So we're chasing up case studies as we speak in regards to what Labor is doing to the community and the miners. That is one. The other one is obviously the annual leave and the sick leave that they aren't paying. So we need to chase up where all this is going. And another thing that we're pushing at the moment in discussion is that one site they're paying $75 for a certain rate for an operator. I won't mention what it is. And on another site, they're paying $55. So where is that $20 difference going? It's just some questions that are coming up from people, from the miners who are giving me information anonymously. And yeah, we're just working on wondering why. So we are going to push for a federal inquiry into the labour hire, I think. And the union as well, as the companies to establish, what has gone wrong. So that's what we're going to fix. So Michelle is on board at the moment. We're still doing info and research to which way we're going to go with it, yeah. In regards to casualisation, the 3 months wait used to be 3 months and then you got a shirt. And if you didn't have a shirt, well, you moved on to the next job. You weren't successful. There's been people out there for 3 to 5 years on labour hire.
And when you say getting a shirt, does that mean you become a permanent employee?
Permanent employee, that's correct. You sign a contract and get on board. You're on the books of the company. Well, I feel, and the miners have had enough, is that we go approach the labour hire companies, or we go to the government, through Michelle, in regards to asking for this federal inquiry to bring it back to the way it was. So we feel, as labour hire, you go onto a site under a labour hire company, you do 3 months, and then you get an answer whether you are continued under a contract, you get a shirt, or sorry mate, you don't fit our culture, wish you the best of luck. So then you go to another job. Because I think there is some, I don't know what word it would be, but there's some stuff that we don't understand what's going on in the industry at the moment. But it is a sad world out there, and like I said last time, the suicide rate has doubled, and that's what I'm worried about as well.
And you were just talking before that those are the impacts on families and even within the work environment with going to labour hire. So what has it been like for you to go as a permanent employee to having those short-term labour hire contracts?
Well, 3 years ago, I'll tell the world, it doesn't worry me. I'm a man of my word and I speak what I think, and probably gets me in trouble a bit now and again, but 3 years ago I had a $109,000 a year job as a dirt boss with $30,000 in the bank, saving up for my land. I wanted 100 acres. Now, 2.5 years later, I have got none of that, and it is hard. I've been unemployed for a month now, and it is hard to go week to week. So I am feeling the struggle, but like I said, I'm not as bad as a lot of miners in the industry in the same boat. I will survive, I will get through this dark cloud, and I will take on the mining companies and the labour hire companies on my way.
You've requested a meeting with the CFMEU, so how are things going there? What's the relationship that you've got with the union?
Jim Davison, he is basically my admin partner with the haul road. So we approached Steve the other day in regards to take back to the CFMEU table, that we've had some informal discussions with Steve, but nothing's concrete to report yet. So at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, to stabilise the industry and bring the cowboys to account for everyone's benefit, including the workers, their employees and the companies. So we have a fair, safe and productive, sustainable industry. So I'm still waiting for Steve and the CFMEU to come back to us where they want to work in an alliance, and we'll hit this road together.
What's the next step then, other than, once you hear back from the union?
My next step, we're still deciding. I've got a lot of info and research. I've got a lot of miners' inboxes. I've got a lot of emails coming in now, because obviously we're hit the tar. Like I said last time, we've hit the tar. So I've got a lot of info and research. I'm now, I suppose, playing political game on my chessboard, on the Word and the Haul Road chessboard, and just work together as an alliance with the political side, with their CFMEU, and go ahead and let's bring on this labour hire inquiry, I feel. Hopefully, we can all get together around the table, regardless of past disagreements and misunderstandings, and move forward in a positive. in a positive way. And if Word in the Haw Road can help that happen, then we'll all do what we can, all 7,500 of us in our group.
Gavin Geiger there, who runs a social media group with over 7,500 members at this stage. And the ABC has contacted the Federal Government's Minister for Employment, Michaelia Cash, about labour hire. Her office issued this response. The Fair Work Ombudsman is the agency responsible for enforcing compliance with workplace instruments, such as enterprise agreements and modern awards. If any labour hire employees are concerned they are not receiving their entitlements, including any rights to casual loading or to convert from casual to permanent employee, they can contact the Fair Work Ombudsman at www.fairwork.gov.au or on 131394. The government is also committed to introducing new protections for vulnerable workers, as outlined in the Coalition's policy to protect vulnerable workers released in the 2016 election campaign. And Michaelia Cash's office says that unlike Labor, without the benefit of this research and analysis, the Coalition will not move to introduce additional regulation without a solid foundation to do so. There is no legal obligation for casual employees to be made permanent after a period of time. And as I said, that is the response from the Federal Government's Minister for Employment, Michaelia Cash.